Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Going Rounds podcast, episode motherfucking 100. We
One
are
motherfucking
here,
100.
and
In the
we are here to do it too,
motherfucking
because it's the 100th episode. Here we go. I got the DJs with me. I got to do the DJ shit.
No, every
know.
DJ hates them.
I know. That's
This
why I did
DJ
it.
hates that damn horn.
That's why I did it. I had to start
just
with
laughing.
a laugh.
It worked.
So
Keep it 100.
you've seen both these guys before if you've been on my channel. You got DJ MGYX from the Technically Unsound podcast, and we got DJ Infinity as well, also from the Technically Unsound podcast. He's been on there consistently now with his injury, so he's in
Had a
the
lot
group.
of time.
My wife said happy 100. Thanks. She's been hyping me up all day, so I'm pretty happy about that. She's been great.
Awesome.
My daughter made me a cake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
my other daughter sent me a nice message, a nice text. I was like, shit, it's a good day. It's a damn good day. So
I can think of worse.
yeah, thank you everybody for the support that supported me today. My wife put out a nice post out there too on Facebook and stuff with some nice words. So I'm feeling the love today, and it is a special day. There's my mom too. She said, "Congratulations, Mijito. Proud of you. Love you. Love you
Aw.
too, Mom. Thank you so much for supporting me."
That's
She-
Got a
awesome.
whole family of fact checkers in the chat there.
They'll all bounce once I start talking about the shit that I talk about, but they support me for the beginning so they can hear what's up. I get the
what's
views. It's all good.
Let her
No.
go.
Look,
No, I'm happy, man. It's episode 100. I got Infinity MGYX here to help me celebrate and talk about this upcoming UFC 302, which is going to be a great card, and I'm excited for it. We're going to have the watch party going this weekend. These two will be on as well with Tommy, possibly Christo, and I might have one, maybe two people in the studio here too. So it's going to be a full one, but it's going to be fun. We're going to have fun here tonight because I've been waiting for this all day. I've done all this prep work, and I've anticipated it all day. I've just been like trying to stay out of my head, trying to make sure we're good, and I think we're good. So
Looks good to me.
how do you guys feel today? Everything all right?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it was 106 out, but besides that, we're good. AC still works, so
There you
could be
go.
worse.
I give it a 10.
Oh, Lord.
How's it
Already?
over in Cali right now?
It's getting a little humid. It's we haven't even broke 90 yet for today. But it's the humidity is up there, so
Oh yeah.
and that's what kills me. Everybody else is running around. I'm like, oh, it's all night. I'm like sweating my balls off. Almost got in a fight in a parking lot over a parking spot, like literally 30 minutes ago.
Man, it's California. You need to be careful out there. You need to get canceled.
Right. Get
So-
unalived.
Thanks,
Ironically
Trends in the
enough,
chat too, saying happy
They
100.
were, they were talking about the cashiers were talking about how they're like, oh, it's so hot, everybody's just losing their mind. I'm like, it's not because you're not in Arizona. It's not because of the heat. It's because you have kids home from school now
It's
after
summertime.
Memorial Day, and
Mhm.
they've worked your last good
Summertime.
nerve, so you ain't got
Yep.
no kind of sense. You spend your
None.
mornings, get ready, get up, sit down, stay off that. You know,
Leave your brother alone.
Yeah.
right. Stop touching that. Stop hitting him. Don't make me come back there. You know.
So
Now
Magic's
you-
is trying to get into fights in the parking lot over a parking spot, and we're here to talk about actual fights. So that,
Right.
that
People
works.
get paid for it.
Talk about little kids fighting.
Ironically, 5 minutes before that, there was a legit fight, and it was over a parking spot. Like a dude. Apparently
Wait, where were
did the
you?
same
Where
thing.
were you?
I was at Winco.
Oh, figures.
It was in the
And some
octagon.
dude was waiting, like a guy was waiting in the aisle, and another guy was turning, and neither one of them were moving. So I just drove in. And the dude was like, "Hey, blood! Hey, blood!
Oh,
Hey, blood!"
damn, he was trying
I'm
to
like,
cancel
yo.
you for real.
I'm like, "Yo, there's no keepsies or you can't
He's
call
saving the
dibs
seat.
on a parking spot." I'm like, if you wanted to park there, you could have. He literally could have just turned and parked, but he didn't.
He saw I threw my red rag in there.
All right.
That was
Oh
my
no. A guy got in a fight because of a parking spot, and there was a scuffle just outside the door over fucking grapefruit juice
Beautiful.
or cranberry juice.
Hey
You
man,
sure you aren't watching the Boondocks or something?
yeah, you gotta have your mixers. You watching an episode of Cops and shit?
Dude, I seriously thought about it at that time. Like, maybe I should start a podcast and just Winco.
There it is.
Just a Winco podcast.
UFC, episode 100.
Because people be doing that on boat ramps. They just take their boat out and then they watch people fail loading the boat or
Yep.
offloading the boat.
Yep. Actually, I had a
And they
few of
get
those come up
millions
for
of
me
views.
on TikTok today. So, yeah. So we are fucking here to do this, and I mean, and honestly, I'm focusing on UFC 302. We're definitely gonna go over the Misfits boxing event, which really just the main event. Because we talked about it last week with Paige Van Zandt and Elle Brook. There's a little bit of other combat sports news, really MMA fights that were announced and stuff like that. So we'll hit that up in a couple minutes here. And yeah, that's basically it. We're just here to have a good time, talk about the fights. I'm excited for this UFC pay-per-view coming up. And, you know, Infinity's into the fights and stuff. MGYX is just here for the entertainment. That's what he said. Or he's here
I'm
to
here
entertain.
For the OnlyFans.
He's
I'm
gonna
all
enjoy
good.
for the update on the OnlyFans fight league and the pillow fight league.
I don't know nothing about the. Actually, I did see a video on the Pillow Fight League the other day. I was like, "What in the fuck?"
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was like one of those Dana White like
Power slap
free
shit.
things, like
Yeah.
like just some bullshit. No.
For the
So first of
telephone
all-
booth fights?
No. First of all, I'm going to tell
What
you
up,
this.
Clark?
I literally found out 3 months ago, ESPN8, the Ocho, the station that was made up on Dodgeball, is a
Dodgeball.
legit station.
Yeah,
They
it
have
is.
an ESPN8, and if you're ever broke and you want to watch those apps with free live TV, you will get ESPN8, the Ocho.
The Ocho.
Mhm.
And they call it, they do, hey, this is ESPN8, the Ocho, just like in the movie.
You could dodge a wrench. You could dodge a ball.
So I'm checking out some apps. I'm checking out some apps on my Fire Stick. I'm like, all right, let's see if they got some, local TV, whatever. And I see an ESPN8. And I was like, it just big logo says the Ocho. I'm like, that's funny. And then I see a PFC, and I'm thinking UFC, and I'm like, oh, maybe this is something E knows about. I tune into it. It is the motherfucking pillow fight.
Oh my
Club.
god. Were they wearing red and blue?
Yes,
Yeah,
and it is
yeah, I
legit.
saw that video. What up,
Legit
Cremo?
pillows, but with handles.
Yeah.
Like that right there, that
With handles? What
handles. There are pillows with handle grips.
kind
Yeah.
of prison break shit you been watching?
No,
They were swinging like crazy as fuck too. It was
Yes.
yeah. I was like watching it. I'm all this is going too long. I can't believe I'm looking at this.
right. You're like, it's a train wreck, but I can't look away. It has no interest to me. It's not even entertaining, but I
it's-
can't look away.
yeah, it's
'cause
like a
I'm
train
waiting
wreck.
for somebody to get like a good wind up and then an uppercut and go flying across the ring. Like I'm waiting for some UFC like flying backhand. And
Well,
no.
yeah. So thanks, Christo, for the big ups on the 100. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for joining in and checking out the show. And the chat's open, everybody. So hit us up with any questions or anything like that. I appreciate
I do
it.
think
And
the losers
huh?
from your UFC, I think the losers from UFC 302 have to have a round robin in the PFC league.
That's it. And see, that's the thing about UFC, man. It's because it is so mainstream that now there's all these offshoots of different shit. And then, Dana comes out with the power slap shit, and that just makes all of these other things relevant. You know what I mean? Like all these offshoot fucking crazy shits that you would only see like on some weird YouTube channel, and now that power slap is like popular apparently. Now everyone feels validated in all their crazy offshoot fights of whatever sort. So like Infinity said earlier, the phone booth fighting, that's
That's
legit.
real.
Yeah,
The car
there's
one, too.
The
There's a
car
convertible car.
jitsu. They have.
I saw that. That was also on ESPN 8, the
Yeah.
Ocho.
I'm
I
not
stopped drinking that
surprised.
night after I saw that. I was like, no. I put all my cups down, everything. Nope, not
Yeah.
today, Satan.
It's fucking weird. And then of course there's always been like legit lingerie fights, which is
Yeah, those have been out forever.
yeah. I mean,
though.
that's
It's like
just
the 80s.
that's
Remember
just
Glow and all that shit?
yeah. So that's just eye candy. I mean, that's just for you to watch. And
Sells
but
money,
shit,
or
some of
sells
these
tickets.
girls are beating the shit out of people. And then Tommy sends me a thing that I had seen everywhere about some shit in Russia where some big old fat dude was fighting two chicks that were wearing headgear and big gloves, and they're trying to beat the shit out of him, and he's just ragdolling them and throwing them around. I'm like, why? Why are we doing this?
Because Russia.
Yeah,
That's
that's
all
right.
you
No,
got, Russia.
that's from Andy Kaufman. That was a legit thing that Andy Kaufman did in the 70s and 80s, and Russia, they're 30 years behind on everything.
yeah.
That's new to them. I'm
I
waiting
don't
to
know.
see.
Infinity.
You
What do
remember the
eating?
game we used to play
Cheese sticks.
with the paper triangle where you had to kick it?
Oh yeah, little
Oh,
like
the
paper football.
It was a football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that professional league to start up next.
I thought they had one at one point in time. I'm no joke. They had
I'm
like
wondering- I
wouldn't
special
be
footballs and
surprised.
shit.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't
at
be
all.
surprised either. They have everything now. I mean, come on. There's like so much shit. I mean, who would have ever thought?
Pickleball. That's
I was about to say, who would have ever thought a
That's all I gotta say.
combination of fucking tennis and ping pong would become big and super like popular? It's crazy.
You know, something jacked up about it. Remember my injury, right? With this jacked up tendon that's
Yeah.
all busted apart. The number one injury that the ortho is seeing right now is people middle age and up that started going out and playing kickball on the weekend, and they're jacking themselves
Taking it
up
too
like
damn
permanently.
seriously.
Pretty much. Well, look at all the pictures you see. Like elders, like I can play too.
Mhm.
Well, you don't see them after that picture though.
Yeah. What you got to understand is, that fast movement that you're doing, the stop and go, the pivoting to change directions, that puts a lot on your joints and tendons and shit.
Only
So,
takes once.
Yep. And then you hear that big, and it's over.
Every time I hear that, I get goosebumps. I'm like,
He's got PTSD.
I do. Then, huh? What do you?
Hey,
Rats, all
dude.
types of shit.
That's a racquetball. That was the benefit of racquetball when me and Tom were playing all the time. Was that short burst of energy was a good workout, except for you go to stop and your foot your shoe says, "Okay, let's stop," but your body says, "Let's keep going."
Yeah. Well, think about the pillow fighting league, right? Like, think about that shit. First of all, if you're not in the best shape, that's gonna kill your shoulder and your elbow and your wrist, and then getting hit over the head, getting thonked and shit.
Repeatedly.
You're fucking
Pillow concussion.
yeah, you're gonna get concussions. I mean, you get concussions from less shit. Your neck's gonna be all fucked up. You're gonna blow out an eardrum. Like, you're gonna take out an eye.
That's even worse of a story. How'd you get a concussion? Pillow.
Yeah. What happened? I was in a pillow fight.
Right.
With your girl or what? No, professional.
Pillow fight accident.
Got paid for that beating.
I got workman's comp.
Yeah, who
Yeah,
knows?
right.
Who knows? But they were like in a legit cage and shit. I was like, what in the fuck?
What?
Yeah, it was weird.
Dude,
They had
yes.
uniforms and I mean color code. That's why I said were they wearing red and blue? Because one team was wearing red, the other team was wearing blue, and they had handles on those pillowcases.
I just
mean,
picture someone in there with like ball bearings or something.
Right?
Like, you know how fights, like they pad gloves and you pack them. So you got this one concrete pillow and just stack them.
I find that channel to be the channel when I just want to see some absurd shit like professional axe throwing. That's kind of a legit thing.
But that was a different country though before here.
No, they have the country like the outdoor Olympics where you have axe throwing, log rolling, cutting, all that.
Yeah, that shit. Have you seen those saws with fucking
crazy.
car motors on it?
But these motherfuckers are just like in stalls, like at the gun range.
Right.
I'm like, all
Yeah,
right,
because
we
they
got
have
three-
places now that you can go axe throwing.
You got to pay
I was
for
like,
that too.
But it's just like cornhole. That's professional.
I
now,
watched
too.
that the other night.
Yeah.
Professional cornhole, and I was like,
Professional
how the
darts
fuck
is
do
really
they-
big right now. They
Yeah.
they go nuts on that shit. Yeah. So
Like,
all the
Anything that
games are
starts in the
fun.
backyard could be
Yeah.
monetized.
Yep.
Now, how many of these do you think are owned by Dana White?
None.
You don't think
Not-
so?
No,
if
no,
it
no.
gets big
Silent
enough, I
partner?
bet he'll buy it.
He
though.
as silly as slap fighting is, honestly, he doesn't fuck around with those kinds of things. I never would have thought he'd fuck around with slap fighting. So you might think that'd be, me, being not realizing that he could do any of these other things, but somehow or another somebody convinced him, and then because he's seeing the numbers on social media, he's saying it's gigantic on social media. I mean, but that's what it's good for, right? That short attention span. What are they doing? They're standing
Magics.
there. They can't move. They can't dodge or block. They have to stand there, and then they just get the shit slapped out of them, and that's it. And then some of them fall over. They get knocked the fuck out. Like I don't want to have to go to the hospital because I got a concussion from getting the shit slapped out of me and getting knocked out that way. Like that's embarrassing.
Why are you here today, sir? I got bitch slapped by a 300-pound dude.
Some big motherfucker hit me. What do you mean? Where'd you get punched? No, he slapped me. Well, what? Did you try to block it?
Big.
Nope. No, I seen
like,
some dude
based
dead.
on how
Gigantic.
Yep.
based on how things are set up, I almost want to say he may be an unspoken silent partner that he's just not willing to be
Maybe.
like, yo, I
You
have
never know.
3% in this company.
Well, he's like the Amazon of UFC, so he can own a little piece of everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
he has enough money. But you know how fucking busy that dude is already with just the different things he does that are involved at the UFC, and then now.
But he's
Power
got other
Slap.
people working for him, though.
That's true. That's true.
Hell, I'd hire
Listen,
some dumbasses from the hills somewhere to slap each other and
He
give him
has
part
his-
of the money.
He has his own fucking bull for bull riding. He owns a bull that he like puts out there for competitions. So I mean, he does do a lot of shit. So it wouldn't surprise me.
People like that.
That's
got
actually
people that
very
work for him, though.
lucrative.
Yeah. That's what I've heard. And an ex UFC fighter that's retired now, Cowboy Cerrone, was supposed to actually ride that bull, but he got injured. He fucked up his arm or his shoulder or something. So I guess that's for a later date. But that was supposed to be, I think, last month.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? That was recent.
Yeah, it was recent. It was supposed to happen last month, I believe. But anyway, well, we're going to stick on this little bit of an offshoot of the UFC type MMA stuff because we're going to talk about Misfits boxing here right now because it's time to get started with the content. And MGYX, you're going to like the first one. Don't worry.
Is it midget lingerie bull riding?
No.
What in the whole
This-
hell?
Leave it to MGYX to say some shit like that.
I mean, I'm just.
That might be the
I
next
guess
thing
I
now
got
that you said it.
misfit and midget mixed up, and I was like, that goes with what we've been talking about.
While it
You
would
just see
be
him fly
funny
across the screen.
and probably entertaining, that is not what we're doing.
I'd watch it.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of mini-me's like flying around.
That's why I don't cover slap, man. I can't cover slap fighting. All that's an offshoot for someone else. All right, here we go. So yeah, Misfits boxing happened this past weekend. Elle Brooke versus Paige Van Zant, aka porn star OnlyFans girl versus ex-UFC fighter OnlyFans girl. And it was actually a pretty decent fight. I mean, I didn't watch every second from start to finish, but I did get to see a lot of it. Not live, but I watched a lot of it through highlights and other videos and stuff. And I mean, it wasn't that horrible of a fight. The only problem is Paige Van Zant being the, well-versed fighter that she is with all of that knowledge and experience under her belt. Yeah, she got knocked down.
She got a beating. Is what she got.
You said one's an OnlyFans, which
They're-
one's the porn star?
Elle Brooke. Like she's a like
Is she the one with the finger up?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I was gonna say that looks like a porn pose. I've had some people.
Well, I can show you some regular UFC fighters, including one that's fighting this weekend, Islam Makhachev, and he's definitely not a porn star. So that's just one of those poses.
He's doing the finger. That's
Yeah.
that don't look right on a dude.
But he does it.
Who the fuck
And you know
does
who
that?
else
Have you
does
ever
it?
done that to one of your friends?
You know who else does it? Is
I don't get hit in
fucking
the head for a living either.
Jake Paul does that shit all the time too.
He does
Yeah,
every
That's-
time.
which I know you probably
expected.
aren't surprised by.
No, I finally did see the Netflix trailer for the Jake Paul and Mike
Mike
Tyson.
Tyson?
fight.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Tyson got. Don't worry, everybody. That fight is still on. Mike Tyson had the whole emergency thing on the plane, but apparently the plane was like overheating inside, and he was not doing well, so they had to like take him off the plane and get him to a hospital and shit. But he was just kind of dehydrated, and he has some other kind of issue that
Like
took
being
him out a little
58?
bit. Yeah,
I
so
didn't hear anything about that.
That was
Where's the smelling
recent.
salts? Clark, I already did them. I have the other ones in here, which are surprisingly, I don't know. I left them alone for a long time, and they regained some of their power. So I hit it right before we got on, and Magic's is like, "Damn, what the hell are you doing?"
Doing little bumps and whatnot.
All right.
But I did get my dose of smelling salts, and on Saturday I will have the very strong smelling salts in here, and I'll be doing those then. But on the undercard, well, I guess the co-main event of this card was Le'Veon Bell, the former football player, NFL football player, versus Tristan Ham. And I mean, those guys were going at it at the press conference. They were fucking, Le'Veon Bell was like relentless, just talking mad shit and trying to start shit at every moment. He did win, though, but it was a unanimous decision. All of that aggression and shit, and it went to decision. I didn't really see any highlights or anything like that about it, but I just know Le'Veon Bell won. So he did knock out Adrian Peterson before, which was another former NFL player. And this time, Tristan Ham, whoever the fuck that guy is, because I don't know who he is. I have something for him.
Who the fuck is that guy?
I'll be back in 1 minute. But
I'm not sure
listening.
if you know, but I know. I don't know. So anyway, oh shit, he's gonna miss the good stuff.
No, I'm not.
Oh, are you
I just
still
realized why I look like eating these damn cheese sticks on this camera.
You're like Magic's
So,
eating on
question.
camera. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a place to rewatch this L. Brooks and Paige Van Zandt? Like, do they?
You can get the highlights on YouTube right now.
Yeah, and there's a few different places I've seen the entire fight being played out on TikTok, like as a post. So I would just look it up there. You can probably find it. But here was the beginnings of.
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah. So there was the face off. As you could tell, Paige is just dialed in, and Elle Brooke was kind of doing her little thing, showing off, not really taking it seriously, it seemed. But it looked like Paige kind of needed to, give a little more of the influencer side of herself instead of just that ass.
The one in the pink is Van Zandt, right?
Yes, that's the ex-UFC
She
fighter.
ain't got no kind of ass. Like,
okay.
Somebody needs to check their pockets to see if they got the rest of her ass somewhere.
You're just looking at a bad angle right now. That's all there is to it.
I mean, I don't know how much more of an angle you need. Oh, God.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not that angle.
That is an ugly picture. You got caught ugly crying on that picture.
Well, this is an ugly punch as well, so it's not really like a flush, good, like nice punch. But Elle Brooke came out swinging right away, and she fucking definitely caught Paige. I don't know what the fuck Paige was thinking. She said on her podcast.
That's what that face looks like. Mama, she hit me. She hit me, mama.
She said on her podcast that she like as soon as she stepped in that ring and she started trying to hype herself up, that the game plan went out the window. Apparently she had a hard weight cut too, but she said that's not an excuse at all. She said that was on her. Her husband actually brought it up because they do a podcast together, but she just said that she threw the game plan out the window. It was fully her fault that she didn't win the fight, because she basically just went in there and started brawling like a dumbass instead of having some good strategy and all that. So that's why she got kind of she got touched up a little bit, and not in the sexual way. This time
A little bit. It was a lot of bit.
But yeah, she got caught in the chin and she got dropped. So that was a surprise coming from a girl who's only been fighting at a high level for like 2, if you want to call it a high level, for about 2 years now. And
She's in terrific shape too, though.
Yeah,
It's not like
and
she
she's
just
tough.
walked in.
She's small, but she packs a fucking punch, like no joke. Cause
I'm looking at her Instagram right now.
Her what do you call it? If you look at what was it, Twitter, X, whatever it's called today,
yeah,
you can see some stuff there.
yeah. Kids, stay off. But
Yeah.
everyone else, go check it out.
X gonna give it to you.
X is gonna give it to you. I'll tell you that much.
Just like she gave it to Paige, you get knocked down.
Yeah, man, that was a flush shot to the chin. And once again, I am talking about the punching. It's OnlyFans girls, man. You got to
They earn
clarify.
their money.
But yeah, here's another. There's the angle of when she dropped her. So she actually went down, got the 8 count, stood up. She didn't look dazed or anything really. She composed herself pretty quickly and got back up. And then she came back and started doing work. And that's probably what won her.
A little too late.
Yeah, that's what probably won her. Not won her the fight, but got the draw. Because this fight wound up in a draw.
What?
And yeah, because so in boxing, if you get dropped like Paige did, that's an automatic 10-8 round unless Paige would have dropped her in that same round, and then it would have just been like a 9-9 round or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just evens itself out, and it depends on how many times they get dropped. But as soon as they get dropped, they lose a point. That's just how boxing goes. So, but Paige came back with a vengeance, kind of, got her head together and started actually boxing like she should have been in the first place. So she came back in the next 3 rounds. She caught her flush right there too. That's a hell of a punch. Paige has her eyes closed even, but she caught her there.
Help me, mama, please help me.
And these pictures, they're always crazy if they catch them at the right time. But this was another nice punch landed here. But that was really it. They went back and forth. Paige got dropped. Elle didn't. Elle didn't even look like she got wobbled really at any point in time.
She really didn't.
She just got outpointed in the last few rounds, and that's what got Paige to be able to come back and get that draw. So it did wind up in a split draw. So which means one, they had one judge had it for Paige, one had it for Elle, and then one had it as a draw. So that's what a split draw comes out to. But as you can see, there's at the top is Paige on the ground when she got dropped. Elle Brooke just held herself like a fucking soldier in there, though. She didn't break face at all. She was just all business the whole time.
I told you.
Yeah, you did. You did. I got to give you that because you were saying it over and over again.
She's a thickum.
But she's a solid thickum. That's
what I'm saying. I'm looking at the pictures from her Instagram.
Yeah,
from the fight.
She's got that lower body that she can fucking put behind.
She got the booty cheeks to balance her out. It's like a weeble wobble. Paige ain't got the weeble wobble balance. That's why she got knocked down.
You might want to go look at Paige's Instagram now. But
I'm looking at the full-on blown picture of their weigh-in.
Well, but that's weight cut though. Don't look at the weight.
Yeah, you can't look at the weight cut.
No.
They gained 20 of that back in like a day or two.
Yeah. But
the other one didn't.
Clark said they are both used to the abuse, pun intended.
Booty cheek squeeze.
You trying to measure that body fat or what?
No, it's. I don't know if you have it up there. Do you have the one where Elle is like pinching the edge of her butt cheek?
No. Oh, like lifting them up.
Oh shit! That's a video. God damn.
See?
He just found out.
I thought it was a picture. That's
you're gonna learn today. Good thing you're out.
This little hot pink one. Yeah, looking like you straight out of the 80s with no ass. You got 80s ass.
That's telling what that is. All of that is because of the weight cut. I'm telling you right now. But I'm not gonna keep saying it because
flatter.
You have to.
What is hers? What is her name? Paige Van Zant. Let me see if I can find her.
Yeah, so
one word.
Easily,
in
right?
the OnlyFans boxing challenge here, which was actually a professional boxing match, which was Paige's first professional boxing match, and Elle Brooke is the Misfits champion in her weight division right now. So she gets to retain her belt. She doesn't have to give it up. She's still the champ. So this was just a draw. It's like it didn't even happen at this point, except Elle Brooke has that knockdown in her head, and so does Paige, really. They
also said they were. Yep. Go ahead.
They are. No, go ahead.
Rematch. They said that before they even walked out, before the sweat was dry.
Yeah.
We need it naked.
For enough money, you could probably make it happen.
You know what? Let's take. You want to go old school enough? Let's just make it a good old fashioned Jello wrestling. Let's do Jello wrestling because mud covers stuff up.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't doubt the fact that after they finish their series of boxing, that they do an OnlyFans collab together.
A collab, yeah.
It's gonna happen. Paige has already done it with some WWE girls that have OnlyFans as well. So yeah, it'll happen. I'm sure it will, and we'll see how crazy it gets. And
we'll be back right here for episode 200 talking about. Did you see the
right?
You see, she still has no ass. That Brazilian butler failed.
Oh my god!
And I'm going back. She has no ass. My opinion only.
Okay.
I'm glad the Thickum won with the double braids.
She didn't win. It was a draw.
And my vote, she won. She knocked it down.
See,
He's like,
it
I'm
went right
splitting
over.
it.
I heard it all, but I'm giving props to the Thickums. You knocked down the bitch that everybody was like, "Oh, she's the best." Oh, blah,
I think
blah,
it's an
blah.
Well, she
optical
also
illusion.
hadn't done anything for a long time. Like she had
Who,
just
Paige?
been chill. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she hadn't fought in
Paige
a little
was
bit.
more focused on like all the glamour stuff,
Yeah.
not really fighting.
Right.
That was part of her downfall.
Yeah, and the last time she fought, it was in bare knuckle,
sweetie.
and she lost. So
Right. She
I
got a
was going to
couple
ask you
beatings out
about
of
that because I heard. Did they both used to do bare knuckle?
no, only Paige.
No.
Paige has had 2 bare knuckle fights and lost them both.
And got beat up.
Elle Brooke has only been boxing, and she's been boxing in Misfits.
You to wash the damn dishes.
Oh my god, we're
That
going off the
sounded
rails here.
personal.
I mean, I'm trying to think of. I mean, dudes bare knuckle boxing. I could kind of see that. That's like an average bar fight, but I don't.
Not
see...
for that long.
No, I know, but I've just never seen women do bare knuckle fighting. I'm like,
You didn't see it on your favorite channel, the Ocho?
no,
There's actually quite a bit of it.
I need to because I've seen I've did the hey, what's coming on next, and they had a pickleball tournament, and then there was some knuckle something, and I think it was bare knuckle fighting, but I wasn't sure.
You're right, Clark. You're right.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I don't know if Magic's reading the comments, but
No,
he's
not
not.
yet.
All right, so
I'm
that
making sure I have a good feed going before I start hopping on other stuff.
oh, it's good. Not
Yeah.
for you, but it's good.
Let me hop on in. Let me hop on over.
So that was that for Misfits Boxing. Paige Van Zandt making her debut in professional boxing, and in Misfits Boxing, but it was a draw. So no outcome there. And they're
I
gonna
did
have a
one
rematch.
question.
What?
What is the so what is Misfits Boxing?
Okay, so
Like-
Misfits Boxing is the boxing organization that KSI owns, and KSI is a YouTuber from back in the day. I mean, not that far back, but he's just basically was a YouTuber forever. He got big playing FIFA soccer on stream, and then he turned into a boxer himself. So he's one of these influencer boxers, and he's partnered with Logan Paul, and they own Prime, the energy drink and the hydration drink. So KSI is one half of Prime Energy.
Basically, just rich kids getting richer.
Yep. And so he was just like the Paul brothers, making funny videos, stupid videos, and then he streamed playing FIFA and all that. So that's how he got big. And now he has this boxing organization because he got wrapped up in all of the influencer boxing shit and made his own organization. But hey, they're putting on professional fights that go on people's records. So got to give them a little bit, you know. I mean,
it takes money to make money, though. If you have that kind of money, you would do the same thing.
Yeah, and you know he's got people like Le'Veon Bell, ex-NFL players, other influencers, and it's basically influencer boxing, but with the professional portion added in for whoever.
Everybody else
really
gets beat up and they get paid.
Legitimacy.
Yeah, yeah, just to make it a bit legit. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
anyway, that's Misfits Boxing for you, and we're gonna head over to the MMA portion now and talk about Nick Diaz coming back, making his return to the UFC.
Didn't he retire like 5 years ago or something?
See that, and that's the thing. I mean, I no, he hasn't retired ever. Like, never legitimately retired. He took he took like 6 years off when he got suspended.
Yeah.
He got suspended for marijuana. He got a 5-year suspension because he was a multi-time abuser, I guess, where he got caught and dropped dirty for weed. So, but
repeatedly,
yeah. And then when it was time to come back, he didn't even come back. He was just on another level doing some other shit. What?
How the fuck do you get suspended for weed? That is not a performing enhance. How is weed a performance enhancing drug?
It's not.
Ask Michael Phelps.
It's not about being a performance enhancing drug. It's just a banned substance. So you can't have a certain level, and this motherfucker was going into the cage fighting while he was high because that's what the Diaz brothers do.
Yep.
So, I mean, he got suspended for that
dumb.
because he dropped for high levels of THC before, during, and after his fight. Well, not during, but they literally tested him right after his fight, and he had like elevated levels of THC. Which, if
He
you know
smoked on camera before.
Is that still a thing?
No, not really. Now they can have a hell of a lot. Actually, because of him, they can have a lot more, and because of it becoming legal in so many places.
Yeah, damn near everywhere.
Yeah, now they can have higher levels of THC in their system. They still have to keep it under a certain level, though, when they get tested right before the fight. So they can't just get high the day of and think it's okay. It's really doesn't work that way. They just have to keep it cool.
I'd walk out to the ring with a blunt. I'd walk out with Snoop.
I mean, Nate Diaz damn near did. He did it at a press conference.
Yep. And then dared someone to say something about it.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Nate, God damn it. Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz last fought in 2021 against Robbie Lawler, and he did not look good at all in that fight. I was torn on that one because I like Robbie Lawler a lot, but I like the Diaz brothers a lot too. And okay. Hold on. It actually does say he retired that time. So I guess he did legitimately retire in 2021. But now he's back. So
3 years later.
Yeah. Now he's fighting
he's back.
Vicente Luque, who is not an easy fight at all because Luque is a little younger than him, but he has a tendency to be not good on the ground. And Nick Diaz is really good on the ground, but he likes to brawl too. So
yeah, he was always a brawler though. Like that's the dude you run into in the bar. Like you stepped on my shoe, and the next thing you know,
oh yeah, they'll fight everywhere, anywhere,
all day.
Yep,
for nothing, just because.
Screaming Stockton, motherfucker.
Pretty much. Exactly.
For real, is he from Stockton?
Yeah, the Diaz brothers are from Stockton, and they still live there. That's what's crazy.
No wonder. Maybe that's why everybody's getting all crazy out here.
Where's Stockton in the vicinity of you?
It's like 30 minutes.
Oh
that.
Shit!
Is that where you were trying to park at earlier?
Yeah, that's why the Winco is next to.
It may be.
Stockton.
Hold on.
That was Nate Diaz was about to stomp your windshield.
Yeah.
No. This is a brother doing it.
I don't know. When they walk around, they look like just anybody else.
Nah. This is definitely was this. Trust me. Me and the dude locked eyes. He's like, "What up, blood?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude."
Should have been like,
"Going in here to get some popcorn, some peanuts, and some Taylor Port and some salad bags."
I'm just hungry, man.
Right.
I mean that. I just don't give a fuck anymore.
So this fight got announced, and on the same card, which is this is what everyone's talking about, all the MMA people and everything, which I fully agree with. They fucked up. They should have made the fight between Nick Diaz and Tony Ferguson, because Tony Ferguson is on this card as well. So this is the Abu Dhabi card happening in August, and Tony Ferguson has lost like 7 or 8 fights in a row. And he's still in the fucking UFC, and they're still giving him fights. Like, this fool needs to retire for sure. I respect the shit out of him for what he did in the past, but he's far past his prime, and he should have been gone a long time ago. But
he's just a paid punching bag now.
Basically, it's like everybody's like,
How
oh, well,
old
here's
is he?
another win. How old is he? He's like he's not that old.
I know he's been fighting, but he looks like he's encroaching on 50s.
Yeah, and that's just due to the but he's always had that look.
He's
like
been
always had
beat
that
for
look.
years too.
Yeah, and I mean it's strange. He was born in 84.
Fucker, young as shit.
Yeah, so he's not even that old, and yeah,
not for fighting though. Fighting's not that young.
Like we need to sign a petition to get some correct leagues, some correct tiers.
What do you want, a senior citizens league? Like
yeah, you have like lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight.
AARP plus.
That's what Bellator used to be.
You need to have like an OnlyFans league or an OnlyFans tier, and then
I don't want to see that.
And then a Young Buck tier. Literally, like youngins, you're new.
So
you're coming
weight
in.
don't matter. It's just age.
No, you can have weight classes, but
It's like
you
the
need
Tyson
to have. Like, why would you put an amateur? This is his first professional. Go up, an old timer.
What is this? The Iron Man challenge with different?
That's like Simba beating up on his dad. Somebody in his prime beating up on his old dad. That you don't want that. Put
Simba.
Yeah, put the teams together. If you're 38 and you've been doing this for 10 years and you got a losing record of the last 7 fights you lost, Put that with a dude that's lost 8 others, the last 8 rounds at around the same age bracket.
So basically, you're saying old school UFC, where it
Yeah.
didn't matter. You walk in there, and whoever's in front of you is who's whooping on you.
So he
It
doesn't
could
have
be
a
300 pounds and 150 pounds. You getting a beating.
Yeah, he doesn't have a losing record. His record is 25-10. He's just lost his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights.
That's what I'm saying.
He
So
hasn't
you put him
won
up
since
against-
2019.
So you put him up against somebody else that has a losing streak as much as he has at that same age range.
Yeah. Well, and this is the thing is everyone, the fans and stuff, everyone wants to see it be done, but I don't know. The UFC, I guess, has an infinity for him, if that makes sense. And they just, I don't know why, he's got a contract. So if he can fight, he's fighting. But at some point in time, Dana's going to be like, listen, he's done it before. He's going to say, you got to retire, man. Like, we can't give you any more fights.
That way that I just said will encourage them to retire, because if you're on a 7-fight losing streak and you're 39,
yeah,
and you got to wait till somebody hits a losing streak as much as you, and you're sitting there waiting for years and years, yo, bro, if somebody else doesn't suck as much as you have, you're gonna have to retire.
Yeah.
If you fucked up 7 times at work, you'd be retired, whether you wanted to or not.
All right, I mean, I understand the loyalty aspect that it seems that Dana White has for some of these fighters, but
No.
let's
money.
look at the
Yeah.
let's look at the entertainment value of it. Is, dude, you want to be known as a dude? Hey, what was that Mike Tyson Glass Jaw Joe or whatever? The dude that's always
Oh, you're talking about the damn video game? Glass Joe?
you're gonna be known
He
to
was
be
like,
that guy in real life. Hey, kid, you just fresh out of high school. You need to make your legs and you need to cut your teeth in the UFC. I'm going to go ahead and put you up against, which was it, Ferguson? I'm going to put you up against Ferguson. You know you're going to knock him the fuck out. And
If you're
18.
dumb enough to sign the paper, then that's what you get.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Michael Chiesa's on his way out as well. I mean, he's a younger dude, but he just hasn't been putting them together. He's on a 3-fight losing streak as well. But here's the thing. What they missed the mark on is that Tony Ferguson should have fought Nick Diaz. That should have been the fight. I don't know why the fuck.
Years ago, yeah.
Chiesa, well, no, right now. This is like, it makes the most sense right now with them both being on this card to fight each other right now. It would have been a banger of a fight if they would have done it back in the day. That would have been the shit everybody really wanted to see. But instead, now we're getting this. These guys are too old, and they should have just fought each other. But I don't know. So I just wanted to bring that up because it kind of annoyed me that they didn't put that fight together, but yet they have them on the same card. And like Luque versus Chiesa, that should have just, well, Chiesa's already lost to Luque, but they could have done a rematch. That would have been better. That would have been a better matchup.
Is there a limit on how many oxygen tanks and walkers you can have at the same time? I mean, maybe that's why they're not fighting each other.
I got some crutches I could donate soon.
Right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, those are the matchups. The two biggest fights that everyone was making big deals about on this card. I mean, the main event is Corey Sandhagen versus. Oh shit! I already forgot. Who the hell is it? Damn,
the biggest one, huh?
Smelling like icy hot if they go.
Well, that's
first,
the
though.
main event. Oh, Umar Nurmagomedov. So that's a good fight. It's happening in Abu Dhabi. But the biggest news were these two fights, and Marlon Vera versus Davison Figueiredo. That's going to be a hell of a fight too. Another
Where are the pictures
hottie.
of those guys?
Because I don't have them. And I
Oh man, I need to make pre-bets. I was going to
didn't.
ask you who you're betting on.
Look it up. You have something in front of you that does that.
No, I meant who you're going to bet on.
Oh, I don't know. It's too far away. It's in August. I'll think about it when it gets closer. We'll see if they make it.
Right.
I mean, I didn't know if you were like, all right, I'm, you see the names, you know their analytics
No.
or their history.
I'm telling you right
Like,
now,
all right,
I won't make that. I won't make any bets that far ahead. It's not.
Well, the last few
not
bets
necessary.
he had, I would bet the opposite. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah. So anyway, the other big thing was they finally announced the entire card for UFC 303, which is the next pay-per-view after this one. It's on June 29th, International Fight Week for the UFC. We already knew Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler was going to be the main event. Jamal Hill was supposed to be fighting fucking who was
Carlos?
it? No. He was supposed to be fighting someone else. God damn. Oh, Khalil Roundtree. But Khalil Roundtree dropped dirty for a banned substance that apparently was in a product that he took, and he didn't know it was in there. So he got a very minimal suspension, but he's off this card. So now Carlos Oberg is taking that spot and fighting Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill being the former UFC heavyweight champion or light heavyweight champion. And then another big fight on this card is Ian Machado Gary versus Michael Page. Michael Venom Page was in Bellator
MVP.
before. Yeah. And he's a badass, and he kind of has the same fighting style as Ian Gary. Ian Gary's like a younger guy who's been coming up and has a lot of stuff going on in the background with him and his wife, and people are talking a bunch of shit and all this other stuff. But anyway, this should be a really good fight. So this card's going to be pretty good for International Fight Week. June 29th is when that takes place. So that should be a good one. And with
Silva.
Myra Buena Silva, yeah, versus Macy Shades-On, and then Joe Pyfer. He's a badass against Marc-Andre Barrios. That's another good fight. So this is a pretty damn good card. It wasn't looking like it was going to be good. I even made a TikTok about the fact that the 304 was going to be way better than 303, and then they changed it up, and now they got all this going on. So I mean, I don't know if it's better than 304, but it's definitely better than it was before. So that's good. And then our last piece of combat sports news is a personal one here, because this is for Saturday night UFC 302 Watch Party podcast happening live here on the Going Rounds podcast channel, 7 p.m. Arizona time. That'll be when the main card starts. We go live, so check it out. Be ready. Go like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we go live that time, and for any other show. So check it out. It's gonna be fun. It's going to be good, and I'm sure you're going to hear about it at least one more time before we're done here tonight. So don't forget, Watch Party Podcast, Saturday, during the main card of UFC 302. And these two fools will be here with me.
Absolutely.
As well as
probably a few others.
People. Yep. So it should be fun. Watch parties are always fun. We always have a good time drinking, joking, fucking around, and all that good shit. So speaking of UFC 302, we're going to move into the preview of that. Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. This is a good one because Makhachev has been pretty dominant over everybody. But his last
Poirier's
two fights,
getting up there too.
Yeah, I mean, Makhachev's last two fights though have been against a smaller opponent in Alexander Volkanovski, coming up from the featherweight division, 145, to fight for the 155 title, because Volkanovski's actually the featherweight champ, or was the champ at the time that he fought. And he fought Makhachev twice and lost both times, unfortunately, for him. Makhachev is a beast, though. He's a protege of Khabib Nurmagomedov, which is one of my favorite fighters. Retired, undefeated, and he was just a dominant champ. So beat Conor McGregor, too. Makhachev actually was in the cage, and one of the guys swinging at Conor during that melee after the Khabib fight. So this is actually pretty interesting because Dustin Poirier has also fought Conor, beat him twice. And Dustin's pretty much talking about retirement already, which is never really a good thing. But the thing is he's been on a little bit of a tear. I mean, he's just looked good. I mean, he unfortunately got knocked out his last fight, but before that, he's just looking good all around. He lost for the BMF title, and that was kind of a bad. Oh, no, it wasn't the last fight. It was the fight before that. The last fight, he looked really good against Benoit Saint Denis. So I'll get into that more when we cover that main event. But the co-main event is Sean Strickland, another former champion for the middleweight division, fighting Paulo Costa. This should be a good one. So those are your two events at the top there. And we'll look at the undercard, which there isn't a lot of big names down there. But we got another OnlyFans girl, which isn't quite as interesting. But
Magic's almost choked.
Aylin Perez versus Jocelyn Edwards is a pretty interesting fight for the simple fact, not only because she's an OnlyFans girl, but Aylin Perez got fucking rocked at the UFC PI because her and Jocelyn Edwards got into a little scuffle. And apparently Edwards sucker punched her or some shit. there was a bunch of shit talking happening. I don't even know what happened with it, but they were scheduled to fight before. Somebody got hurt, so now they're finally fighting in the bantamweight division for the women. Mickey Gall, who fought CM Punk when CM Punk first came into the UFC, is back. He was gone for a little while because his record was not great, and he's fighting Basil Hafez, who is a beast. So this should be a pretty decent fight. Let's see who else down there. Gelton Almeida versus Alexander Romanov. That should be a good fight. Cesar Almeida versus Roman Kopylov. That's going to be a good one as well. And then that brings us to the main card. Have you guys heard of any of those people?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah? I know Magic.
Yeah, I've heard of a few of them. Yeah. Well, you saw him perk up for the OF.
Yeah.
The OF league that he's trying to start down there.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to see like a little more than what most girls show that do other things but OnlyFans, go look at that one. But yeah, I mean, she's not really that hot. I hate to say it. So yeah, that brings us to the main card, and we start with Randy Brown versus a fucking
like
really
this
long,
graphic.
hard name. What'd you say?
Did you make this graphic yourself?
I did.
All right.
That background graphic? Yeah, I see that too. I was like, oh.
Oh well,
right.
the background one is a stock graphic.
No, the one.
But
Right,
with
but the overlay, that's some of the stuff
yeah.
you worked on last week.
Yeah. So I made sure all of it was correct this time because remember last time I had problems with my numbers.
See, I didn't say anything. It was funny though.
No, I do.
Everybody's odds were like, whoop.
Yeah, I figured out what was happening, kinda. I still can't explain it fully why things were changing on me, but they were changing. And kind of like Magic's mic every time we get on for the podcast.
Every single time. Especially when he starts talking about mine.
Right?
Yeah,
Yes,
that one.
you're on the right mic. So we got Randy Brown versus Elizu Zaleski dos Santos, which
Easy.
that's a fucking, yeah, that's a lot. In
Easy
the
dos
welterweight
Santos.
division. What'd you say?
No, I just said easy to Santos.
Basically, that's the easier way to say it.
Easier? Easy.
Yeah. Oh, because I don't even know. Let's see, where's he from? Brazil. Yeah, figures.
Yeah, that looks Brazilian.
Yeah, Dos Santos is always Brazil. I should have known that. But Randy Brown is his nickname is Rude Boy because he's from Jamaica.
That's original.
So that kind of makes
That's original.
Yeah. He's 33 years old, 12-5 in the UFC. So I mean, he's got a pretty mixed up record here. Like he does a little bit of everything: KOs, TKOs, 7-2, subs 5-2, and decision 6-1. He's on a 2-fight win streak. So he does a little bit of everything. Pretty decent fighter. I mean, he's not one of those crazy standouts. He was looking good in the beginning of his career. He had like a 4-fight win streak going for a little bit, but I mean, he's a tough guy. He's a pretty exciting fighter. So. Not too bad of a matchup here. I don't know a ton about Dos Santos. He's one of the many Dos Santos that's been in the UFC.
Right.
But Randy Brown's last couple fights, Wellington Turman and Muslim Salikov, which are not bad opponents. That was a decision win and a KO win there. So, and then Dos Santos, he's a little bit older, 37 years old, 10-3 in the UFC, also on a 2-fight win streak. And he has a lot of KO TKO wins, 14-1. Submissions 3-2, decisions 7-4. So a little bit of everything there, but the KO TKO wins stand out on that one. So he likes to strike. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, Randy Brown has some good striking as well, and some good submissions. And this was actually a pretty crazy one against the Brazilian Cowboy because this dude's nickname is Cowboy too. But yeah, Alex Oliveira, he got that submission on him there. And then Dos Santos with the, that nasty chin punch there with that fucking ear flying. You see his ear?
Yeah, I was like.
Dos Santos looks big though. In that picture in that graphic I made, that like side picture of him, he doesn't look that big, but he looks pretty stout in this picture.
Looks like a leaping right almost. So
yeah.
Because both of his feet aren't flat. If you look at his left leg, that's
right.
all power.
Yeah, and I mean that's probably why he has 14 fucking KO TKOs.
And why a piece of ear is missing.
Yeah, and this is Benoit Saint Denis, which is the guy that's everyone was high on, and then he lost to Dustin Poirier in that last fight Dustin had. So, but yeah, that's
Poirier's talented. He's just getting up there.
Yeah. I mean, he's getting ready to get to the point where he's saying right now that, I mean, if he loses, he might retire after this fight. I think if he wins, he's going to be the champ. So I think he's going to look for one more good fight. Like if Conor wins and Dustin wins, then they might have another rematch there. Fighting for
that would go into Magic's league, right? With the ages and everything.
Kind of, yeah. Or like where they are at their careers.
All the above.
Yeah. Yeah, so
call it the Icy Hot League or the Icy Hot tier.
Icy Hot League, sponsored by Icy Hot.
I'll give it to you. That's pretty good.
You won't need smelling salts at all when you walk in the room. Just woo.
The whole Coliseum smells like it. Just woo. The Bengay Nationals.
Shit.
Anybody got sinus issues? Walk over to that room.
Right.
Hold on 1 second.
What mountain did he come off of?
See, so this is the kind of stuff that really gets me and messes me up here, because I bet you. Let me look at.
Are your stats inverted?
No. So the order of the card. See, it did change. That is some shit right there. That's okay. That's what happened. So they switched up the card, and this is why I don't prep like super early, because if they switch up the order of the card, like nobody knows unless you're really paying attention, because this is supposed to be Nico Price versus Alex Morono, but Jailton Almeida is the fight before Randy Brown. So you have to pay attention to those fucking the lineups, and that's really what gets me a lot of times, because if I prep too early and I don't double check, this is the kind of shit that happens.
And it changes.
Yeah. So anyway, Nico Price versus Alex Morono, that's gonna be a pretty decent fight as well. And that's a welterweight fight there, but this fight's happening before the Randy Brown fight, so no big deal. Jailton Almeida versus Romanov. It's in a heavyweight fight. Couple big guys. Jailton's good at submissions, though. He's got 12 submission wins. He doesn't have any losses when it comes to submissions, but neither does Romanov. He's 9-0 there. So they're big dudes, but they like to fight in the ground too. So Almeida's
it's easier, less gravity.
Yeah, no shit. And I mean, they're similar age, similar records, 20-3, 17-2. So that should be a pretty good fight. I mean, it could go anywhere. They could fucking knock each other out, or they can, do some damage on the ground as well. And here's some, Almeida with that kick, and
there's your help me please kick, man.
Yeah,
Sparta.
Right.
Romanov with that big punch. So
look at the jowls on homie.
Right.
I must break you.
God damn it. Yeah, I didn't even.
Every time I see anybody that looks like that is
Russian?
Ivan Drogo. I must break you.
That dude is still huge. He's like 70-something years old.
Yeah. I mean, they all are. Their bodies looks like they're melted wax, but
no, I'm talking about fucking Drogonov or whatever. The Rocky
look at
movie
Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester was there was nothing natural about that.
Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. They all look like they're melted plastic, but they still got.
They are.
They still got they got the question of, can I knock you out potentially, or nah, I'm not fucking with you today.
I don't know about that. You can get shot. Nope.
I'm talking about they still got the fuck around and find out factor. They're still in the plus column. Once you hit a certain age and a certain look, your fuck around and find out goes into the negative, and that's when you need to start carrying a firearm.
Yeah.
Then that boosts your fuck around and find out by a gun modifier.
A gun modifier.
And all of this just comes from the way some dude's body looked.
I mean, look at.
I know what you're saying.
Melted plastic.
I mean, that is what it looks like most of the time too. Especially,
I just picture a wax museum on fire now.
I got it like a fucking eyelash in my eye or some shit. It's driving me nuts.
It's not a smelling salt, that reverb. I wonder what would happen. What that would feel like if you
that would hurt.
Salt in your
Are you kidding? Do you know what's in that stuff?
No, I don't fuck around with it. The fuck around and find out factor for smelling salts is above my threshold. I'm good. Unless the only time I would, I take it back. unless we were riding to El Paso again. Then I would fuck around with smelling salts because my shit gets all stuffed up.
Yeah, but that's different. Yeah, I know. Weld your door shut next time.
All right.
This dude had doors like snoring through a hotel
shit.
door. You know what that takes?
Dude,
You know how many movies are
Not a
shot
lot
in
if you're in a
hotels?
cheap hotel.
It wasn't that cheap.
Sierra Suites.
Yeah, it wasn't that cheap.
Shit. So now we're getting to the real good fights because Kevin Holland versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. Kevin Holland's nickname is Big Mouth because he talks a lot of shit, but he's fucking funny. So if you ever watch any interviews with him, shit's hilarious. And Oleksiejczuk is Polish, I think. Yeah, that's why his name is fucking hard to say. But I've heard it said plenty of times, so I can actually say.
Carjacker versus Meth Head.
Oh my god.
Looks like Grand Theft Auto in real life.
Right, for real.
That's what it looks like.
I could see that Kevin Holland. He looks like he talks like that dude from what the hell is the show, the comedy show that's always played at the clubhouse with Nick Cannon?
Wildin' Out?
Yeah, DJ. I think
DC Young Fly.
Yeah. He looks like he's a DC Young Fly. The other dude looks like a dude I'd unlock the doors in. I don't lock my doors for a whole lot. But there's sometimes I've driven through AJ. I'm like, you know what? Go ahead and lock them doors.
Some people need a whole lot of leave alone.
Exactly.
Looks like DC Young Fly on the juice.
He's just missing the face tats.
They might be there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I will say Kevin Holland does look like he could put a whooping on Michael
Oleksiejczuk.
That.
On that paragraph down there.
But it looks like if he did it, he'd have to do it very quickly.
Yeah.
Because the other dude looks like he's probably got a little bit more stamina,
Right.
and long-term agility to kind of reach out and touch you more times across the round and get on your last good nerve, and then it throws your whole game plan out the window. Like every
Start
time I
getting
get
them jabs in.
Well,
my forehead.
they're even on those KOs with 14-1, so they both like to strike. But Kevin, you're right about Kevin Holland. He doesn't do well when it goes into the later rounds, and that's when he starts talking all this shit. Like, dude, you wouldn't get so tired if you would shut the fuck up, and that's why Dana White calls him Big Mouth, because he just doesn't shut up.
And these are 3 rounds, not 5, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Usually, unless it's a really big fight for a co-main or it's a title fight, is always 5 rounds. But sometimes they'll do it for or main event, title fight, or just a really big fight. It'll be 5 rounds. So
okay,
yeah. These guys are 3 though.
Everything else is 3. Yep. But yeah, so I mean, Kevin Holland. It depends on who. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. He fought MVP Michael Venom Page in his last fight back in March, and he lost that one, which I was thinking he was going to do pretty well. But again, he doesn't do well when it goes to decision, and he lost that by unanimous decision.
MVP is long and lanky too, so he goes the distance.
But so is Kevin, but the thing is MVP is just super awkward, and Kevin Holland is like. Yeah, he's got to have somebody kind of in front of him.
Yeah,
so,
orthodox.
Yeah, and then the other fight that he lost was by split decision as well. So yeah, he just doesn't do well by decision, as you can see by his record. They're 4-7 in decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're right. I mean, MGYX doesn't even know him, and he knows that.
I mean, you can see he looks like a damn cartoon character.
He does, but he's fucking funny. I will say that. And before that 2-fight losing streak, he was on a 2-fight winning streak, which he beat Michael Chiesa, who's that guy that's fighting Tony Ferguson we were talking about earlier. And that was a submission and a KO. So that's what he likes. He likes to finish fights, and if he doesn't, then he's probably going to lose. So
yeah.
And then Oleksiejczuk, he's coming off a loss as well.
So they both got something to prove.
Yeah, and I mean,
I didn't see their last ones.
He doesn't have a great record in submissions. He's 1-5, but look at that, 14-1 in KO TKO. So I'm thinking this is going to be a stand-up fight for sure. Oleksiejczuk lost his last fight by submission, of course.
Whatever it is, it needs to happen early on.
Yeah, I think this one's going to probably be like a round and a half, and
that'll be that fast.
Yeah. But this was This was Kevin Holland knocking out fucking who the fuck was this? God damn it.
A freaking monk.
No, it's man, I just had his name and then I lost it. Let me find it real quick.
Need some more smelling salts.
Yeah. Fuck. I can't even remember. God damn it. Anyway, he was on his knees and he fucking knocked him out. So that's the shot you see right here. So he can do some shit. It's just he's got to be winning. that's kind of where it is with him, because if he's not winning, he gets frustrated, he starts talking a lot, and it's not going to go well for him.
Ain't that most people though?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, but a lot of people know how to compose, especially at this level, they can compose
well,
themselves and, be able to do something. But yeah, so, I mean, I'm hoping this stays on the feet. I'm hoping that, it's a good fight overall. Kevin Holland, I mean, it's either going to be very boring or very exciting. And with these two dudes, I feel like it's going to be exciting. So hopefully that holds up to get us to the co-main event, which another big mouth, Sean Strickland.
Oh,
this motherfucker.
And another one.
He's the guy. He's the guy I was always talking shit about, MGYX. Anytime Tommy would bring him up, I'd be talking mad shit, just because that's all he does is talk shit. And it's just like, I don't know. He says a lot of off the wall shit. He doesn't think a lot. But he's the one that
stuff gets in people's heads after a while.
It
though,
does.
Sometimes
It does. And he was a champ. He was a champ in the middleweight division. He beat Israel Adesanya, but I mean he didn't even defend it. He actually lost the belt the very next time out. So, but he does, like I said, he talks a lot of shit and he says a lot of crazy off the wall things. And any interview you hear of him, he's gonna be talking stupid shit. So that's one of those things that you gotta watch out for him. But he is entertaining, and he is a good fighter. So he's got that crazy Philly shell type stance.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what he used to beat Israel Adesanya, but it didn't do much against Dricus du Plessis because he lost to him. So, and then Paulo Costa is a fucking, I mean, he's all ripped up and shit, but he's a weird guy. He just doesn't fight. I don't know. His fighting style is weird. It's like he's either going to knock you out or he's going to be like Kevin Holland and just get frustrated and not be able to do shit. So, and he only fights like once a year because he's always either injured or he's just not ready to fight. I don't know what it is. I think his last fight was, oh no, he fought this year. But before that, so he's fought once this year. So at least he's fighting twice this year. Shit. Before that, he only fought once in 22, once in 21, once in 20, once in 19, once in 18. So it was like once a year until this year. Before,
do you think he's picking and choosing some of that?
It's a lot of, because he was on a big winning streak. So he was on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fight win streak. In 2017, he fought 3 times, and then he only fought once every year after that. And as soon as he lost his title fight, that 5 fight win streak got him a title fight against Israel Adesanya, and Izzy made him look like a fucking fool and and just beat the shit out of him. So after that, it's like he didn't know what to do. So then he lost another one after that, and then won one, and then lost one, and now he's back to fight Sean Strickland. So, and he does fight a lot of big name guys. That's the thing. So I don't know. When it comes to the bigger name guys or the ex-champs or the current champs, he doesn't do well. So I'm thinking Sean Strickland's going to take this one. But, I mean, Strickland has that good striking. That's basically what he does, is fighting on his feet.
Yeah.
This is that big shot against Izzy. And, yeah, that's basically what he's looking for. He's a good boxer, and so he's going to be trying to box you up, basically. And he's got that good Philly shell defense.
Looks like it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just what he's good at, so he takes advantage of that. And, he doesn't fight a lot on the ground. So he's going to be looking for a stand-up war, and Paulo Costa will probably try to give it to him because that's what he does the most, too, is standing on his feet. This was a crazy fight against Luke Rockhold, which was his last win. But this was that fight. I don't know if you remember, MGYX, we talked about it because Tommy was watching it, I think, or it might have been on the on a watch party that we were in. But Costa busted up Luke Rockhold, and then Luke Rockhold wound up on top of him and was dripping blood out of every orifice in his face. and he was shaking his face, letting all the blood drip on Paulo Costa's face. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that. I don't
Okay.
think I was able to watch that one.
Yeah, it was
Good way to blind somebody.
yeah, it was crazy. So
They don't stop the fights when it becomes unsanitary in that nature.
nope, they let it. I mean,
Unsanitary.
like,
They're sitting there with
dance.
balls in people's faces. What are you talking about?
Yeah, because you're stay 6 feet apart, but
No.
it's okay to drip blood into the other person's eyeball and nose and mouth and everything else.
No, it's 2-3
Let's
years
stay
ago.
6 feet apart, please.
Well, now you just get beatings and they get paid off of it. So
yeah, and he was rubbing that shit into his face. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It was a weird situation, but it happened. And yeah, Costa, he beat the shit out of Luke Rockhold, but that was his last fight in 22. That was a nasty kick there against why do I keep forgetting everybody's fucking name? Yoel Romero. His leg looks
Smelling
funky
salts.
though. Yeah, I know, right? So yeah, I'm thinking this is gonna be pretty good. I don't think it's gonna go the distance because both these guys are looking for early finishes. So I'm hoping it's gonna be a good one. And you know, Strickland doesn't have a lot to kind of gain from this fight because I mean he probably could have waited and got a title fight for his next fight, but he's just that kind of dude who just wants to fight. And Paulo Costa, he's coming off a loss. He hasn't really been on a win streak or anything, so Costa has more to gain over this to make him look good if he wins this fight. So, I don't know. I'm just hoping it's a good one. And that brings us to what everyone's waiting on, which is the main event, which is going to probably be the best fight of the night. Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. If you know Dustin Poirier, he's never involved in a fucking boring fight ever. Because he's always throwing down, regardless of who he's fighting. And it's always a war. He's always getting busted up or busting everybody up. I mean, that's just how it goes. But Islam Makhachev is on a fucking 13-fight win streak. So,
lower.
Yeah, he's been just undeniable and has made his way. What?
You call that the Batman League. You got to be able to take out Batman to fight that dude next.
It's like your final boss or something.
Yes. You're on a 13 win streak. Yes.
I mean,
you've earned it. You earned the title. I mean, think about it. Most of these fights, all these fights started out as bragging rights to begin with. So yeah, call it the Batman League. You got to be able to. You're fighting Batman. The current Batman. Well, Superman. Call it what you want, but yeah, that's that breakdown of leagues. Yeah, that's superhero league shit right there.
Superhero.
Yeah, so he's 14-1 overall in the UFC because he won his debut fight and then lost his second fight and then went on this 13-fight win streak. So that's what we're looking at with Islam Makhachev. You know, he's had what, 2 title defenses? Yeah, both against Alexander Volkanovski though. So here's the thing: his strength of schedule is not that great compared to Dustin Poirier. I mean, all of his, you know, probably 4 or 5 opponents for Makhachev have been big names, but before that wasn't really so much. Poirier's been fighting against people like McGregor since he started.
Yeah.
McGregor, fucking Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje, fucking everybody you can think of. Dustin Poirier,
all the big names.
Man, look at his record: 30-8 overall, 22-7 in the UFC. So he's had a lot of fucking fights. But yeah, and so I mean, this is looking to be like a damn good fight. I want Poirier to win just because of the story. Like, he's just on his way out. I feel like he's been the interim champ.
He's definitely there.
Yeah, he's been the interim champ, but he's never been a full-on champion. He fought for the BMF title and lost that one, but he's fought for the title, I think, once before and lost. But yeah, I mean, it's just that time, and he's a good dude overall, so that's kind of why I'm rooting for him. But yeah, he's got a big tough task against Islam, who, you know, he only has 5 KOs or TKOs, but he's got 11 submissions and 9 decision wins. So Dustin's definitely got more on him with the KO TKOs there. But I mean, he's got a winning record when it comes to submissions and decisions too. So it's gonna be good.
Yeah, he's a bully.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Islam, I mean, look at these are just some numbers here. He's the number 1 pound for pound fighter right now, 25-1, 61.3%, highest strike accuracy in the lightweight division, or in lightweight history. Big and significant strike absorption. Hey, Patrick's in the chat. Happy 100th show, homie. Congratulations. Hey, thanks, Pat. Appreciate that. Patrick's been on the show a few times before too. Dylan too.
Oh.
Hey, what's up, Dylan? Thanks, man. Yeah, these fights are gonna be fucking awesome. So I can't wait. Especially with stats like this. I mean, 90.9%, second best takedown defense in lightweight history, longest active UFC win streak at 13. So those are fucking impressive numbers, and it's hard to. What's that? Yeah, hey, listen, it sounds funny, but you're not lying. Like that's just that's what you think of. It's just like it's the guy that everyone tries to beat but can't. So, but again, his mentor was Khabib Nurmagomedov, which never lost ever. So
dude's a beast.
Yeah. So this is when he won the belt against Charles Oliveira. And you know, like I said, he's well rounded. He doesn't have a lot of KO TKO wins, but he's really damn good on the ground. What the fuck? Oh, I pushed the wrong button. But he's got that nasty head kick knockout against Alexander Volkanovski in his last fight, in that title defense, which sucked because I hated seeing Volkanovski go down like that. But you know, he gave it a good fight, but Makhachev came out on top still for the second time.
Back of my knee.
What?
That's the picture. Is smell the back of my knee.
Yeah, that was the Ben Gay post.
Shit.
My question is, I got a question.
What?
And it's because I know Infinity's hating my questions.
No, not really. Actually, I like them. It's something different.
I'm wondering if these people, if anybody has tried representing these people that have been getting their ugly pictures shown. Because every one of these pictures that you show somebody, they got somebody go, like just all discombobulated, looking like you got punched by the Scooby-Doo villain.
How do they look?
Like
oh, if I could have screenshotted that.
I know, right?
Right. So I'm wondering, do they get paid for these pictures? Like, hey, you got a foot jammed up your nose.
Nope.
No. We're gonna show this. You get 25 cents every time somebody shows it.
Now, these photographers and shit, they have the rights to, you know, taking the pictures and
the snot coming out, the freaking blood bubbles, all that.
It's all in their contract. Yep. Yeah, so I mean, it may be the ugliest picture, but guess what? This isn't the Kardashians where they can say, "Don't post that of me, I look ugly."
Oh no, I'm cool with it. That's how photography used to be.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm wondering. All right, well, shit, I might get back into my photojournalism.
Yeah,
and has some UFC fights because
Tony Ferguson, and Frankie Edgar have two of the craziest fuck. They got a head kick knocked out, like under the chin, straight leg kick. Head kick, and fucking their faces look like those dogs that have fucking scrunched up faces. That's how it looked. Yeah. Look it up.
Did you see the chick with the hematoma that's like,
oh yeah,
it's a medical mystery? She's missing a tooth and everything.
Yeah, the crazy kung fu wolf bitch?
No, this was real. I know what you're talking about. That was last night, that bullshit video game. But no, this is real. This chick's hematoma is like out here. She's missing a tooth, and she said she had a great time. What?
Yeah, that was bare knuckle fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her joint was like, and she's like, it was a great time. She's a great contender. No, I can't. I'm not that good a Christian. You can't lump me up like that, and I sit here and commend you on how bad you lump me up. I'm not that good a person. Nope.
Yeah, that shit was nuts.
It was a team sport. We had a good plan. We came in with a plan. We executed the plan. You know, but they executed their plan better than we executed our plan. But it was a good time.
Whatever plan she had went out the window with that knot on her head.
She didn't remember her plan.
She don't even know her name, probably.
What the hell? Here, sniff my just.
Oh no! So this is a submission he got. That's a Kimura, or actually, is that a Kimura? Yeah.
That's a sniff the taint.
Right.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's how they lock it in, is to get the leg behind the head like that, and then they're fucking doing that arm lock.
Basically, they pay a lot in Asia for men to have this done to them. Just to sit.
Have you watched some of the females? Like, they will grab each other, and that's just what they do.
Shit, back in the day in the UFC, they used to punch each other in the nuts multiple times.
Yep. They still try and get away with it. It just doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah.
But
So
no,
that
they
is
would
a
grab
legit
lips
move.
and be
Is
like,
stick my taint in your face and suffocate you.
well, if his ankle was past that knee, his whole head would have like changed colors and everything.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it's almost locked
fucked
in.
up.
But
Yeah.
he's got his arm. The arm is what did it.
Yeah, he's getting that shoulder lock in, and it's not
Yep.
about the choke. But yeah, he probably could have done double.
I'm
Oh,
sure
But
his
here's
ass.
Here's a choke. This is when he won the title too, choking out Charles Oliveira. So
Yeah, that's the previous one was the Balchinian effect.
Dustin with the big stats too. I mean, tied fifth most knockouts in UFC history, fourth most finishes in UFC history with 15, sixth most bonuses in the UFC, which means he's been making fucking money because
Yeah,
that's
dude's getting
14
paid.
bonuses at 50 grand a piece. So,
Well, he's probably more than that because he probably had a couple of fight of the night too.
well, no, maybe double bonuses or something. Yeah, could have
Yeah.
been. But I mean, every bonus is 50 grand unless they give him extra
Yeah.
in the back. So the disclosed bonuses are 50 grand.
Yeah.
Except for UFC 300, they gave out 300 grand for every bonus.
Well, because he got called out in public. That's why. Hey, Dana, can we just make it happen? It's not like it's your money anyway.
Right. And he's got the fourth most wins in UFC history with 22. So he's ranked number 4 fighting for the title right now against Islam Makhachev. And yeah, I mean, those are just impressive ass stats for both of these guys.
Yeah.
So for these fights like this, like the UFC 2, let's say these two go at it, the fight's done, whoever wins. What's the minimum they have to wait before they can fight again?
It depends because the athletic commission will suspend them it's just like a suspension depending on how badly they were injured, how badly they got cut up, how much they got hit. You know, if they got dropped a bunch of times but still won, they're going to get like minimum probably 6 months.
Now. Didn't used to be that way.
Yeah, no. Before,
We talked about that 2-3 episodes ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends, but the athletic commission will actually suspend them, which means you can't fight anywhere.
I'm just wondering how much, because you said they get 50,000 bonuses. So if they, let's say, one fight a year, and then you get suspended, banned for 6 months for, let's say, TBI monitoring, all that thing like that, you're getting, your 50 grand bonus a year, and that's it.
Well, yeah, that's 50 grand
That's
on
on
top of whatever
top
they're
of,
contracted
yeah.
for. As I mean, a UFC fighter fights, unless he has a contract that says he gets guaranteed money, so like it's not show and win money, which is what most of them get. So you got to show up, you get like, so just for example, some of the lower level guys would be like 8 grand to show, and then you get 8 grand to win. So if you win,
that's 16.
Yeah, if you win, you get double the 2 checks. But if you lose, you only get the 1. So if you're one of those lower level guys, you're not getting paid really shit. But if you're one of the higher level guys, once it gets into like the 100,000s and shit, those are just outright guaranteed money. They get that money
Just for being there. That's just for being there.
Yeah, because they just showed up and fought. But if most guys are fighting for the 2 checks, and that's why a lot of people hate the pay structure. Because yeah, if a judge fucks them because they do a horrible job at judging, and they get robbed of the fight because it goes to decision and the judges suck, then they're losing out on half of their money because the judges don't know how to judge. Or if a ref stops a fight early because of some bullshit, then they're losing half their fight pay.
Yep.
So, if you're getting paid 30 and 30, well, you're only getting 30 grand. And then if the fight gets stopped like that, you're probably not getting a bonus. So
You'll be at Wendy's next week.
yeah. So then you have however many fights, 12, 13, 14 fights on the card. You're competing against all these people to get one of 3 bonuses. It's not good odds.
If the females want to join the Awful League, that is the OnlyFans Fight League, you will get paid a bonus for every titty show.
Well, they used to back in the day. But the flip side of that, too, though, is there's money that he didn't mention. All them draws with the sponsors on them, all the Nikes and Reeboks.
Nope.
They canceled
Not in
that?
the UFC.
They used to.
They used to. Now, if you notice, all their shorts don't have anything on them. They have to be they could be a sponsored fighter through like Monster or Crypto, but
That they already own.
Crypto.com, but those are overall sponsors for the UFC, and they only.
What happened to like the Cadillacs and all that shit?
No, they don't do that anymore. It's
damn.
been that way for a long time since Reebok first took over. So
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I mean the people with the uniforms, like right now it's Venom. So Venom
Yeah.
pays them depending on how many fights they have and all that shit. They have different tiered systems, so they get
Right.
this outright pay aside from their contract just for wearing their gear because they have to, but they
Right.
get paid at a tiered status. It's not
So
very
what about
much.
what about like DAZN and all that, or whatever it's called,
DAZN?
DAZN? Them.
Oh well, that's not part of the UFC.
But I mean, is that?
Oh, how do they
So
get
they
paid?
can't. Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Okay.
those guys get
That's
to do.
broadcasting.
Those guys
Well, they get
in
more than
those
that, though.
in those leagues, they get to have their own sponsors and rep whoever.
Oh,
I
okay.
think. Yeah, but now a lot of the MMA leagues are going the route that the UFC have, which is they have one overall sponsor for the out uniforms, and then they have it's like NASCAR. They have all the sponsors
Yeah.
all over the fucking octagon and all over the stadium.
I've
and shit.
seen that. Like back in the day, Budweiser and all
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah,
Camel
and they
cigarettes.
used to have it all over their shorts and shit, and now it's
Yep.
like their shorts are just uniformed. They just get the different colors, and that's really it.
Damn,
So
they really get fucked. You must like getting beat up to just like if you can't afford to eat without teeth after these whoopings you're taking. It's just, why?
yeah,
You cut your food costs down. You're just drinking shakes, and all you gotta do is buy a blender. Just get some
Yeah.
oatmeal,
that's all you
cream
got
of
to do,
wheat. That's
guys.
all
Everyone should do it. That's all you got to do.
That's
It's
it.
easy.
No, I'm saying that's all. I'm
That's
saying
it.
you just said you got all their teeth knocked out, so they're not going out eating steak unless they're gonna blend it up. Nobody's
Well,
gonna blend
yeah.
up.
And
Have
these
you ever
days,
tried
they-
to have that much liquid protein? Good luck with that.
These days, not a whole lot. I mean, you'll get maybe a tooth knocked out, but you're not getting like all your teeth
Yeah,
knocked out. But
but
you
you're-
might get
you're
a
still
broken
getting fucked
jaw,
up.
and then they gotta
Yep.
wire that shit, and that's more of the thing. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing is there's a lot of shit that comes with fighter pay that people don't think about. Like me, MGYX, I know we had a little back and forth a couple times about fighter pay because you're like, oh, he got 60 grand for that? That's damn good. And I'm like, no.
No, you explained it all. That's why. So
That was for 6
and
months.
it was because of you, because you gave me that insight. And I'm like, wait a minute, $50,000 bonus, and he was telling me you got to pay for your crew, your training. You got
Mhm.
that ain't shit.
Yep.
And then,
Yeah.
but then you got Dana making billions
Yeah, billions.
Yeah.
off of this show.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
And everything else. And that's why I'm like, this fucking greed. I'm like, and the fucked up part is, all these dudes could whoop Dana White's ass.
Yep. I
Pretty
mean,
much.
yeah, that's the thing.
And you pay $80 for the pay-per-view.
yeah, so we're all getting fucked too. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, if you have a bar, it's 10 times that.
Oh yeah.
But just
Operation
for a personal
Punch
watch
Bag.
right now, you're paying between 60 and 80, and that's depending on who it's broadcasted through.
Yeah, well, right now it's a flat rate of $80 unless they do a discounted thing, like they have been.
But that's for personal.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If
bar,
you're
you
talking
gotta
business,
pay
yeah,
several hundred.
yeah.
No, it's more than that now.
Well, several is up to 1,000.
I'm saying it's more than that. Like
Semantics.
if you went to a wing joint down the street that's got 8 TVs, who the hell? If you got
Yeah,
8
it's based on your
TVs,
capacity. I know Tilted Kilt was $647 to show the UFC fights there.
but think about that was over 10 years ago.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah, it's
saying
probably
all
double
that
that
has gone
now.
up. Right.
And it's all about greed.
Oh, I didn't disagree with that.
Well,
I think so. I think some of the fighters should start take these 50 grand bonuses and whatnot and do their own league. And
It doesn't
I
work.
know I'm this hopefulness that I have, this naivety that I have.
so
But
they
it would
tried
be
to
awesome
do.
if one of the fighters said, "Hey, these motherfuckers are getting rich off of us beating ourselves up like Sparta."
It didn't matter.
They
Big bank
did
takes little bank.
They did a class action lawsuit, okay, involving a bunch of fighters. It went on for years and years and years because, of course, the UFC can pay for the high-level lawyers,
Yeah.
litigate the fuck out of them, make them pay a lot of money for their lawyers, and then they settled out of court. And yeah, it was a few $1 million, not a few, but like it was a pretty decent amount. But it
To
doesn't
us,
matter
not
because
to
what they
them.
were fighting for was for long-term support after the fighters are done fighting with medical, with any of their
Right.
issues, injuries,
Mm-hmm.
and all that shit. And a pension, basically they're fighting for a pension, for health insurance, and all that shit. Because if they get hurt when they don't have a fight booked, then that's on them to pay for it. The UFC doesn't pay for it unless the UFC is unless it's like a high level fighter. Oh shit,
I
MGYX is
saw that.
blurring out, and he's frozen.
Is he frozen?
Yeah. He
Oh.
hasn't blinked in a
Am I
minute.
frozen? Why am I frozen?
There you
Oh,
are.
now he's
There you
starting
are.
to come back.
Yeah.
He's back to the Mario.
No,
Brothers again.
I was listening. I'm like, all right.
No, but
oh,
you
know
actually
what? Here, let
froze
me
on our side.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I mean,
me
there's
kill
they
this
they
thing.
tried to do all that and they wound up having to settle out of court. So basically, that was the biggest thing that was ever done, and it was unsuccessful because the
Yeah, it
UFC is
didn't go-
way too big, and they have too much power. So,
Right, but if all these fighters left the UFC
But
and
they
did
won't.
their own,
but they won't.
Some of them
That's
can't
the
do
that's the
anything
problem.
else
That's the problem
besides
is
that.
that
Though.
Yeah.
they won't because it's a guaranteed paycheck, and you have to be willing.
It's the
be
biggest
like, hey,
organization in the world. So they're not going to leave because it brings so much attention. They can gain other things from it, but they're getting fucked on the end of, like, in the forefront, you know, with what they do right now, what they're known for. They don't even get
Right.
paid the most for. It depends on who
Not
you
even a
are.
little bit.
And even the guys
Yeah.
that get paid the most don't get paid enough.
No,
Connor's
Like,
probably
unless
the
you're-
highest paid.
Connor, Ronda, people like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
It sucks. I mean that's shitty. It's shitty that's how our society is that
money driven.
it's literally the Coliseum.
Yeah.
This is literally the Coliseum aspect again. Hey, I'm gonna give you special treatment, but you still got to beat the shit out of each other. And whoever does the best at beating the shit out of you, you get steak and lobster.
Yeah.
Where's y'all? Here's some Big Macs.
Yeah. Well, and that's
Pretty
the thing
much.
is the UFC will be like, listen, we provide you with meals through the UFC PI. We provide you with the highest level of, you know, technology and stuff like that to help with your training and blah, 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 which is fine now because now they have it. But here's the thing. You go to the UFC PI in Las Vegas, and guess what? You run into your opponent. You got your opponent's teammates or anybody else in their camp that are there. That they're spies. That's basically how it goes. Or,
Literally.
you know, somebody stumbles across something because you're all in the same facility. Now, they do try to keep them away from each other, but there's things that happen, like what I was talking about earlier with those two chicks. They were at the UFC PI, and the bitch got fucking cracked and got a cut under her eye right before her fight because, you know, there was an altercation. Like, there's shit like that. So, you know, no matter what they're providing, there's still a downside to all of it. But that's
They're not
what they're
providing enough.
That's what
It's
they're
the same resources. They're just
Yeah.
sharing them.
Yeah. So they're not, you know, dedicated resources. They're shared resources, and, you know, there's downsides to all of that. While the upside is that they do get these things, you know, provided for them. A lot of these guys, then you have to go to Las Vegas to take advantage of it. So you're traveling during your camp when you're used to being at your place until it's time for your fight to go get, you know, acclimated to whatever, you know, area you're going to. Instead, if you want to take advantage of the PI shit, you have to go to Vegas, no matter what. So if you live overseas, you got to go to Vegas. And that's all there is to it. So not everybody can take advantage of those resources that way. So no matter what they might say that they're providing for everybody, it's not enough and it's not right.
How long do you think the UFC can continue to do this?
A long time.
As long as people are into combat sports, which
Yep.
has been since biblical times.
Yeah, and so, you know, I'm part
think
of the
the
problem
NFL
because I'm
could take it
sitting here making content off of it, hyping it up, fucking promoting it and all this shit, and I don't even get paid for it. But the thing is I love the sport, and I'm not, you know, myself, I don't even have enough viewers or followers or anything like that to make a difference. So what the fuck am I going to do? But I can talk about it. I can bring light to it to some people like I did for you, apparently, giving you the information I gave you and stuff and making you think differently about it. So, you know, if I can help some people understand it and realize and you know, be appreciative of what these guys do because of what they go through, then shit, I feel like I did at least a little something, you know. But I don't have the power to do anything, and me not buying the fights or paying any attention to it won't do shit.
They wouldn't notice it.
Yeah, they wouldn't
It's like
notice it at all.
boycotting NFL.
You wouldn't. You would have to have like at least to start out with at least a quarter of the amount of populace not buy into the fights.
Yeah, it'd
And
have to.
that's just residentials, and then you would need X amount of businesses to not pay theirs. Once you start seeing that, that's a huge
But
chunk
see,
of change.
you can get the businesses to stop easier than you can get the UFC to stop. So that'd be the first place to start, which is to have people stop going to these businesses during the
Right.
nights that the fights are there so that they stop seeing the value in buying the fights in supporting that. So
But it's not going to happen because that
not.
increases their sales,
Yeah.
the beer and drink and food, whatever.
So unless people
Some people go just for that.
Yeah, unless people stop doing it, it's not gonna, because some people want to go to these restaurants whether the fights are on or not. So they'll be like, "Oh, you're gonna make me pay." Well, whatever. I guess. Well, we just want to eat, so we're gonna do it. So they do it. It's just a circumstance that people run into and just decide to go for it anyway. Who gives a shit?
Supply and
we
demand.
need somebody with some. We need some NFL money to interlope. And
well, the problem with
seriously,
that is
you would need like a team to
but a lot
back
of
in
them
and
are
say, "I'm
invested
going to
in
start a totally different league. I'm going to make this like the NFL." You don't have to go to a bar and pay at a bar to watch an NFL game.
That's
So
because they got contracts with ABC, NBC, ESPN.
That's fine.
I know what
but
you're
that's
saying,
not,
but
that's not hitting your consumer in the pocket, and the athletes are getting paid more. They're not eating.
But they have
what is it? Hand to fist.
But they have what do they call it?
Contracts.
No, well, yeah, but those like the NFL, the MLB, they have what are they called? Unions.
Right?
They have unions.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's why they don't get fucking dicked around like the UFC fighters do. But the UFC fighters, this is an individual sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are team sports. So this individual sport means everyone has to be you have to be selfish to be a fighter, whether you're a selfish person by nature or not, because it takes so much. You take away time from your family, from your personal life. Your life is fighting if you're a fighter at this level. So
yeah.
But that's why I like Dustin Poirier, because he has his own charitable like nonprofit organization that after every fight he auctions off his fight gear, all of his fight worn shit, he auctions it all off and it all goes towards that charity. He raises money for it constantly. A lot of his purse goes to the charity. He does all that kind of shit. That's why I like him.
Because he can afford to do it now. He couldn't start that way, though.
Right. Of course.
You got to get to that level.
Yeah, everyone's got to get there somehow. But him and his wife do a lot for that charity.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm not taking nothing away from it.
No, yeah. But you
got to build up to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of these folks will never get there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I like Dustin. That's why I'd like to see him get the title. That's why I'm rooting for him against Islam Makhachev. I think he's a good guy, and I think he deserves it. And I think Islam will come back and probably be able to get the title back anyway. But I want to see Dustin get the title, stick around. If Conor wins, fight him. If not, maybe defend the title once or twice, and then retire on top. Like, it'd be a good story.
Conor should have retired after that damn movie. I don't need to see any other Europeans' butt cheeks ever.
He's fighting on the 29th,
right.
and when people are still entertained and still interested and still love him, so he's going to be around.
Well, they know the name.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily know him.
Until he falls off far enough. He can do no wrong, though. He was seen partying last week. And everything was going around and nobody gives a shit. They still think fuck it, Conor's Conor. So but yeah, that about does it for UFC 302. I mean, I just kind of
Tommy's on here.
Oh, is he? Oh, what's up?
Yeah.
Damn, he's speaking Spanish. Where's the translate button? I don't know what you're saying. I'm just kidding.
Here, I'll translate it for you. I know you do. Damn it. Well, apparently my laptop doesn't.
Who's Herman's?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, wait a minute. I only got one keyboard on this one.
Thanks, Tommy. I appreciate it, bro. He said
that was horrible.
Yeah. Congrats on episode 100. Yeah, so I mean that about does it for all of that. And 302 is going to be good. Don't forget, I told you I was going to do it again, and I will. Don't forget about the watch party coming up on Saturday during the main card of UFC 302. Right here, same time that this started, 7 p.m. Arizona time. We will be live during the main card. So don't forget, check it out. Like and subscribe. Do all that good stuff so you'll know when we go live on Saturday. It's going to be fun. If you like this, you're going to like the watch party even more because we get crazy, and there's going to be like 4 other people in here probably. But, it's just
are you
live.
Gonna be betting?
I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided yet.
Who was it? Clark,
yeah.
Time?
And Clark, I think Clark said he was going to be here. I'm not sure, though. We have a
I'll bet Magic.
I have a golf tournament on Saturday in the morning. It's like some charity golf tournament I'm doing, so I'm gonna be drinking
I thought
during
that was today.
No.
That's
Saturday. Yeah.
Well.
So I'm gonna have to come home.
Whoever he bets for, I'm betting against.
I'm gonna come home. I'm glad I got to stick around and watch. Hey, thanks, Trent. I appreciate you. I can't believe you stuck around this whole time. She's coming to watch the fight, so she'll be here on Saturday. I don't know if she'll be in here, but she'll be here at the house. So thanks, Trent.
Awesome.
I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for the great message earlier, too. Yeah, so Saturday, come for the watch party. Check it out. It's going to be fun. Live reactions to these fights, especially when it's a big knockout or something like that. That's always the best, and it's always fun. So come check it out Saturday. Same time, same place. Here on the Going Around's podcast YouTube channel. I'm all tongue twisted. I'm done. I'm talked out. So that's it for me.
Especially on I'll Be Around podcast.
Yeah. Thank you, Infinity and MGYX, for joining me here at episode 100. Let's see. Let's do this one more time for you.
I'm surprised you took that
Episode
one.
100 in the fucking books. Thank you everybody for the support and the congrats and all that good stuff. I appreciate all of you. Thank you guys. We'll see you on Saturday. We're out of here. Peace.
Peace.